Oh, yeah. Everyone's wondering. I did shave. Oh, baby! Oh, we here. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here for another edition of the Grossi Perna Show. Bright and early on a Monday. Of course, the kids, they be talking all about that acronym G-P-S. Tom Grossi. Wait, where's Brandon Perna? I thought we were gonna do a reveal. There was a whole thing. Oh wait, there's a video here.
This is a special moment, just because we raised over $20,000 for the Alzheimer's Association, but because we're gonna see parts of my skin that I haven't seen in years. In years. Now we shave a monkey tail beard. I don't want to do anymore. So the plan is we're gonna do one of these. Oh god. Oh my god. Oh, it hurts. They didn't say it would hurt. Oh no, look at that. Look at all that beautiful hair. Alright. You want me to make a little sideburn for you?
Aren't you supposed to wait?
The question is like, how much do we take off here, you know?
I think a lot underneath.
We'll see.
Because that's what makes it look funny.
Not gonna lie, I look pretty good. Pretty. Would you like to come to my castle?
Ladies and gentlemen, Brandon Perna.
We did it! With the help of one Tom Grossi. Over $20,000 raised for the Alzheimer's Association, and now I look like a man for the first time in my life.
There it is. How are we feeling?
Scared to leave my house?
Well, that's a good thing because we don't leave our houses.
Yeah, I don't think I can go pick up my daughter from daycare.
It's funny because like when I logged on this morning, you were like your head was tilted, and I was like, oh, it like right there. It doesn't look bad at all. It's like you got a full goatee going on, like you're rocking it, and then you just like turn your head a little bit more, and it's like,
hello,
oh.
Yeah, I feel like a count of Monty something. But we did it.
You did it, and that's
it was
all matters.
It was easy. It was easy to shave that into my face. A lot easier than the perm. Honestly, Jess, my wife, very worried throughout the process that I was going to do it wrong. She was like, aren't you supposed to? What do you got? I was like, don't worry. I got it. I know how to make my face look stupid. And she helped shoot. That was an iPhone video, which looks insane. I got to figure out how to export those better. But last night, I tweeted just out the beard hair, and somebody's like, "Man, you you got on top of doing that quick. It's like, yeah, it's like, just got to pull the Band-Aid off. Just get it done.
Get done.
And just learn to look like this. The question is, how long do I leave it now?
That's the question.
Probably, I feel like a couple weeks is respectful to the amount of donations people put towards the cause. So
I think so. People saying that you look like Rich Pisaccio, which, by the way, is expected to be hired, breaking news, by the Green Bay mother-loving Packers.
Oh, I got a special
Breaking
team
news!
coach upgrade, huh? Pisaccio.
We got him. We got him. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We're dropping a vid on that later, but here we go. Brandon Perna with the monkey tail. GPS is now. Yeah, it's got to be a little itchy on that side. No, it's got to be a little itchy.
Yeah, like I haven't seen this part of my face in 8 or 9 years, man. I've not had a beard forever.
It's been a while. It's. I just think that there's so many possibilities of what you could turn it into. Should you decide, you can go with a goatee that part of it's missing, so it could be just like
worse. Just like, oh, what'd you do to your goatee there? Shaving accident.
Yeah, shaving accident. Listen, and then you do a safety hazard video for Manscaped.
Yeah,
it just works out.
Shaving this part was the weirdest part.
Oh, it has to be.
It's like this. You shouldn't be just leaving this blank.
This should not be a thing.
This should not be blank.
There you go. Hey, you
Kyle.
go, Kyle, dropping a fitty in here.
Thank you, Kyle.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Perna, you get to pick whatever video clip you want for that one.
Oh, I know what I'm picking.
You know what you want.
I know what I want.
You know what you want. Oh, I love it. I
can see Ryan Fitzpatrick doing a monkey tail. Easy.
Oh, 100%. He would do that. No fundraiser, no anything. He would do it, no problem.
Yeah.
All right. So
I will be doing the show like this from now on.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, honestly. It's your good side anyway.
Looks like a cool
it looks like you are going to try and sell me Crystal.
Here's your meth.
Thank you.
Is that how drug dealers do it?
That's it. You just walk up, you're like, 1 meth, please. Thank you.
Got an order for 1 meth over here?
There you go. Dark Knight, his birthday was bad, but he spent $5 to win $208 in free bets using code GPS.
Look at that. It's like you're doing our job for us. And that's the best part of this show. The fans do the work for us. And DraftKings Sportsbook, well, they can't help you shave a monkey tail beard, but if you use our code GPS this week, Super Bowl coming up Sunday, they're giving you 56-1 odds for new customers who bet just $5 to get those 280 in free bets, and it saved that man's birthday.
Yeah, it did.
It saved it.
Yeah.
Look. You don't need to make the Super Bowl more interesting unless it's like Rams Patriots and it's a 13-3 game.
Accurate.
But if you're going to do it through a sports book, we trust DraftKings. We trust DraftKings.
We
trust
DraftKings.
My new beard is affecting my brain. If you're not a new customer during the Super Bowl, build some of those same game parlays, stack those bets for a bigger payout. A bigger payout.
Oh, yeah.
Code GPS. You got fantasy, daily fantasy, Super Bowl. Last time you can do it until, maybe the spring, when spring football occurs. It's just the only way to go is old DraftKings. And I love them. I love DraftKings. Link in the description.
So much, man.
They asked for more crying during their ad reads. So
I figured. It's a good look.
Thank you, Dark Knight, for bringing that in.
Yes,
you will be paid $10,000 a minute, which is what DraftKings pays us.
They do? You said I was.
Oh, sorry, no. I meant $5 a month.
You said I was getting $18 for this year.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm the money man.
There we David H with us.
David.
69.
David, you are too giving. You are too kind, David. Hit me up on Patreon, David. And if you want coffee, you want anything, I will get it to you, my man. You're a legend. Legend. I think David donated more than anybody. So shout out to David. Show David some love. A good dude.
David's a rock star.
God, David's the man. David's the man.
Yes.
Truly giving.
Perna, hit a clip. Hit a clip.
Oh, David.
Hit one.
God.
Hit one for David.
I know what one I want for David. Hold on. I know what one I want for David.
I believe in you.
Oh, wow. Is that a pancreas?
Yes.
He's a Packers guy. Got to give him the Packer love.
Let's go, David. Speaking of the Green Bay Packers, before we get into talking about the crap bowl, yes, breaking news. The Green Bay Packers hiring Rich Bisaccia as their special teams coach, coordinator, friend, lover, maybe.
Solid hire.
It is. So here's the thing. This picked up a little steam over the weekend that there was talks that it could potentially happen. And here we go. LaFleur's like, hey, we got to make sure that we fix it. And Ian Rappaport coming out and saying that it's going to happen. Now, I have a lot of thoughts about this. One, I think it's a very good hire just because of how much even just the Raiders players loved their coach. However, they need to do more than just that. So it's a great start.
Yeah.
However, there's a lot more that needs to happen.
Thank you, Dalton. Well, it's your coach doesn't fix your special teams, right?
Correct.
You have to have solid depth on your team to have good special teams because a lot of times these are like your reserve linebackers, guys who are on the team that coaches believe have, a future potential in the future, but need to contribute there. And so sometimes special teams struggle just because, maybe like some of those guys just aren't great at special teams, but their upside at another position is higher. Now, that said, I watched a bad special teams coach for several years in Denver where it's like the same mistakes are happening week after week. And you're going to assume with a guy like Rich Bisaccia that those types of things will be corrected, that guys will be in the right position to make plays. And my biggest concern, if I'm a Packers fan for special teams, is the consistency of Mason Crosby moving forward. You know what I mean? Like,
I honestly don't think Mason Crosby is going to be on the team next year.
Is you think they're moving on?
I think they are. They brought in another kicker for the practice squad. I would not imagine. I would actually be a little surprised if they didn't potentially draft one. No, I think that they're going to be going and moving in a different direction. Personally,
well, that makes sense. I mean, he was a great kicker, and then
he was amazing. Love that.
The last 2 years, you saw him miss more than you're used to, and this last season was probably one of his worst, right?
I mean, there's a couple games where there was a stretch that was bad. I mean, he was pretty good for the most part, down this after the Bengals game, he was pretty solid. I mean, he had a game-winning, field goals. It's just a matter of there was concern there. On top of that, the blocking situation, we had multiple kicks that were blocked this year, where there was punts, where there was field goals. I mean, you had the one in the Steelers game when he wasn't really offsides. We had a number of them. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe they'll keep him around for another year, but I don't. If I was a gambling man, I would say I think Mason Crosby is probably going to be done. Oh, his contract is also pretty hefty too.
Yeah.
So, Packers got to start getting rid of some of that cap space.
Kickers are tough to find, though. That's a tough decision. Accurate. That's a really tough decision to make.
Look at the Vikings.
Yes. That's correct.
Yeah. So I'm excited, though. I mean, they're probably going to. Here's the thing, too. They're going to be spending good money on Rich Bisaccia here. And I hope that the money that they're spending there, they're also going to invest in their actual special teams. I hope that this is not a, hey, okay, look, we got a great coach now work with nothing. So, because the floor, and again, I'm going to do a whole video on this because it's honestly a complicated issue. But LaFleur came out and said in his end of season post-game conference, basically said hey, I'm thinking about, starting starters on special teams because you see, how much of that's done around the league. And that's like potentially worrying because you had AJ Dillon in the divisional game who got hurt on special teams. And it boils down to is like, we don't have role players for special teams. Like we just don't, because it's been kind of just an afterthought. And it's not just a this year thing. They've been bad for a long time. And we just been kind of being like, okay, we brought in Tyler Irvin and we were basically having negative return yards. And when he got 3 yards, we were like, oh my God, he's the greatest returner ever. So like there's a lot that needs to go on to fix the Packers special teams.
Yeah. No, the Broncos, Deontay Spencer.
We'll talk about that.
We were just happy when we found a guy who wasn't going to fumble punts. And then he had a really bad habit of running backwards after catching punts. And then it kind of corrected. And then it like reverted to that. And he was catching punts in bad spots. And to me, like a lot of that you can fix with just better coaching. It's like, don't run backwards and do not fair catch it at the 2-yard line. And we'll be all right.
Just stay away. Like, just stay away. I mean, it turned into a joke, but it was like, yell, Peter, 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 just to like stay away from the ball. Because every time the ball was in the air, I was like, oh crap, like this could be. Well, Amari Rodgers, who's a rookie that we drafted, like he had a bunch of muffed punts. Like it was not good. You know, he got a little bit better as the year went on. Like, but yeah, it was scary.
Well, there's also some news sort of breaking here that it appears the Texans are eventually going to name Lovie Smith as their head coach. Now, they were considering him this weekend. Ian Rappaport just tweeted that it looks like they are going to name him their head coach. Not official yet, but Lovie Smith coming into Houston after they fired their head coach, interviewed a bunch of guys, did not hire any of the guys they interviewed, and now are going to move their defensive coordinator to head coach. Lovie Smith, very qualified, head coaching experience. He has just the perfect beard for a head coach. It is so perfect.
You and I are literally just on the same wavelength. I'm literally uploading the picture of his beard right now.
Yep. See?
Here's
the thing.
It's there.
Why did they fire David Culley if they're he was doing a good job, and then you go in-house to replace. It is the exact opposite of the Saints situation where their head coach, retires or leaves the game, and then it makes sense to hire to elevate from within the organization. But like the Texans just really botched that whole situation.
It just doesn't make sense. Like that's
no sense. Yeah. Like you had Lovie and David Culley working together, and it seemed like the defense was starting to figure it out under Lovie Smith's direction. And it seemed like they were getting more out of Davis Mills. And I believe, wasn't Pep Hamilton there as their quarterback coach?
I believe so. Which, by the way, real quick, a lot of Packers fans are familiar with Lovie Smith because, of course, of the Chicago Bears. Mm-hmm. And that's what they're used to seeing him as. However, getting away from Chicago, this man has grown the most epic beard ever. Look at that. Look at that majestic, beautiful facial hair.
That is the perfect beard.
That is Santa, but it's like cool Santa.
Yeah.
It's like hip Santa. It's like, hey, here's some whiskey in that eggnog, Santa. Here you go. And Billy's like, I'm only 9. And it's like, shut up.
Tomorrow you'll be 35, Billy.
You'll be a man. So, yeah, an interesting thing. I think Lovie Smith is a good coach, to be honest. But I don't.
He got the Bears to a Super Bowl.
Standpoint, like that doesn't make sense to me. But
yeah, I hope he does well. He's walking into a weird situation. They wanted Josh McCown, and I think they got scared of all the criticism they received for interviewing Josh McCown. But to be fair to Josh McCown, like to me, a guy who played quarterback as long as Josh for as many teams as he played for, I think he's got enough experience where he understands what it takes to be a head coach. Like to me, I don't think there's a big leap from being a QB in the NFL, a backup QB, a QB who's played for was it 18 different organizations? I
Yeah.
don't know how many it was, but like that experience is just as good as like I think coaching a couple years as a coordinator, as a position coach or whatever. Like I don't think that stretch was crazy.
Sure.
It's just it's crazy because it's the Texans and you think they want Josh McCown for different reasons. But yeah, so Brian Flores on the outside looking in.
And now it's just the Saints.
Now it's the Saints. And I had a revelation.
Oh.
The Saints, I think, should hire Brian Flores, and I think they might.
Okay.
Just to piss off the NFL at this point. Because Brian Flores, if you don't know, is suing the NFL, suing every team in the league, basically. But the old Saints, Bountygate. Remember Bountygate? And don't get me wrong, they messed up, but they got punished. They were like the main guy in Bountygate was not Sean Payton. It was Greg Williams. But Sean Payton had to sit out an entire year. The Saints had to pay fines. If I'm the Saints, that probably makes me a little bit bitter. So they should hire Brian Flores while he's suing the NFL just to get back at the NFL.
I told you. And Brian Flores just takes a dump on the NFL logo every single week.
Every week.
Every week. It's like, oh, there goes old man Flores again. Yep, he's taking his weekly dump on the NFL logo. Yeah. Oh, and it looks like he's scooting now, just making sure he's getting all the remnants there and making direct eye contact with Roger Goodell. I think that's money right there.
Yeah. Bountygate was wild. And that was worth punishments. Don't get me wrong.
Sure.
Complete opposite of Deflategate. But like if that was your team and they punished your head coach when it was your defensive coordinator kind of doing it, might be a little bitter. Might be a little bitter.
So maybe this was Sean Payton's plan all along.
Maybe. Playing 10D chess.
Because maybe Sean Payton texted Brian Dable being like, man, your lawsuit's messed up. And Brian's like, what lawsuit? I'm the new head coach of the New York Giants. And then he was like, oh, damn, I'm sorry.
Oops. Oops.
Yep, it's fantastic. All right. So coaching out of the way. Yesterday, besides the amazing fundraiser stream, which literally was the best part about yesterday, there was a game. And I use that term very loosely. Very loosely. There was a football game played yesterday, known as the Pro Bowl. And is it what? I think it's like the 48th Pro Bowl, like with the NFC, AFC, something like that.
Yeah,
I think they're close to 50. Maybe by the time they get to 50, it'll actually be good. But for people who haven't watched the Pro Bowl in a while, and you're like, you know what? Let me give this a shot. And I feel like this happens every year, Perna. Every single year. You see the skills competition, which is the best part of the weekend. And you're like, you know what? Maybe the Pro Bowl won't suck. Maybe it won't be awful. And then you turn on yesterday's game, and it was horrendous. They are literally playing two-hand touch football. Yeah. Micah Parsons actually hit somebody. Everyone was like, whoa! Like, and it was like, this is amazing. It was horrendous. Kyler Murray throwing a pick six was just funny, but it is an atrocity of a game. And I saw a lot of people speaking out about it, of course, and say like, hey, why is it so bad? You had, I think it was Deion Sanders came out and said like, why has it gotten so bad? And you look at like the money and talking about how like players are not going to risk themselves for injury because it is literally a meaningless game. Kitty goes meow. It's meaningless. It means absolutely nothing. You get like a little bit of a bonus if you win. It's just, it makes no sense. So they've tried a whole bunch of different iterations. They tried like the fantasy football aspect of it, in which you had coaches and all that, and that didn't do anything. It's just there's no real incentive for players to play really hard because, one, they don't want to get hurt, and two, it means nothing to them. So why would they go like all out and start hitting people and risk injury for when, worst case scenario, they could get a serious injury and then that could actually, hurt their season. Their actual season coming up. It's a problem. Mac Jones dancing was amazing.
Yeah, Mac Jones running 70 yards. It was fun. So there's options. None of them are good, The first might be the easiest, and I think that's actually just make it a flag football game. Let the guys wear some shoulder pads, a helmet, and put flags on there so that there's actually some skill to stopping a guy. Like, to me, pulling a flag is harder than a two-hand touch. So that might make it a little more interesting. And we understand that kind of limits guys getting hit, probably getting hurt. I'm not sure anybody wants to see that. Now, an idea that I had years ago that I thought was original was, and you see it every year now, and I feel betrayed, but it's that the two worst teams should play for the number 1 draft pick.
Okay.
I thought that was my idea, but apparently Dave Damashek had it well before me, and it can be documented. So we'll credit old Dave Damashek, who's a friend of the show, by the way. He hasn't been on GPS, but we should get him on because he has a wealth of football knowledge and a great Twitter follow. But the two worst teams playing for the pick, I think would be fun to watch. Maybe not the most fair way to do it, but it would be awesome. The other way is just to make it worth players' while monetarily. So there's got to be like the winning team, each player gets like $1 million. $1 million bonus.
Yeah.
And for guys that are young that make the Pro Bowl, that is huge. That would be huge. Now, vets that are in there, like Kirk Cousins, $1 million.
Sure.
Like he wipes his butt with it. But you'd have to incentivize it for a lot of money. But even then, it's like, is it worth $1 million to possibly get injured? Like, nobody wants to see a really marquee player get hurt in the Pro Bowl. And I don't know like the stats on it. Like, how many guys have actually suffered really bad injuries in the Pro Bowl? Like, we all see the Sean Taylor hit on Mormon, but like, I don't know. I'm not sure there's a good way to fix it other than
it's just like, is there a need for it even anymore? I mean, I'm actually curious, like, how much revenue is that bringing in for the NFL?
the
Like, is it
skill competition's more interesting. I think you just double down on, like, we like watching the football players do stuff they normally don't do.
Correct.
Right? I think that's more interesting. They need to bring back the long distance ball, the distance throw for quarterbacks. Even if they were playing like a free, like a home run derby just for NFL players would be fun to watch. Like, do some things that people might want to see. We don't need to see guys playing in another football game, especially with an extra week of football every year.
Yeah. But that's my point. It's like, if you make this into a competition, right? Like a legit competition. I'm not even saying AFC, NFC. Like, if you have like, okay, QBs, running backs, wide receivers, like you just do in a whole bunch of different like positions, I think like that'd be fun, and like have a whole blown tournament like based off of it. Anything that's better than this, like you said, like bring back the long bowl. Hell, make QBs do like punt, pass, and kick. Like, just do stuff because at least that's more fun than that. I mean, watching yesterday's game, and I only watched it for literally 5 minutes. I was like, this is atrocious, and there's no reason to do it. Yeah, make it flag football if you're really going to, because that's what they're playing right now.
Yeah, I think, didn't you say like American Ninja Warrior style challenges?
Like, I don't care what it is. Like, something that's not going to risk like a lot of like injury. But then, like, let's be honest, then guys maybe like Aaron Rodgers would actually like participate in it. Or like guys like Tom Brady might participate in it. If it's just, well, not anymore. But if it's just like skills-based things, and it's like, all right, you move on and there's like an incentive, do it for charity. Just be like, you know what? Like, the winner gets like, $500,000 for their charity or something like that. I just feel like there's so many better ways to do it, because an actual game where there's nothing that comes out of it, there's no actual football being played, is pointless. And so, listen, I will watch a Hell's Kitchen style. Like, that's fine. I'll watch just about anything at this point, because what the product they're putting on there is awful.
Yeah, it's just sad, because like, we were doing this charity stream during the game, and Urinating Tree, Adam had Bengal on, and every single one of you were like, I haven't watched the Pro Bowl for years. I put it on today, and I was reminded of why I don't want to watch it. And like, we're all people who love football and will consume more football than most average viewers, right? Like,
Correct.
we watch so much of it because it's a good product. And then you see that and you're just like embarrassed for the product that's out there. And it's a weird way to honor your best players in the league, because it's a little skewed, but like by forcing them to play in a game nobody wants to take seriously. So yeah, they just got to lean into, making it more fun. And here's the other thing, if they did the 2 worst teams, here's the other caveat: the losing team, okay, whoever loses the Pro Bowl, if it's the 2 worst teams, not only do they not get the number 1 pick, but a fan vote determines the name of their football team for the following season. That is what I want to see. And they have to honor it for a year, and then they get to revert back to their normal name.
Yeah.
But if fans got to pick a new name for the Jaguars or Texans for a year,
yeah.
Oh my God. And the NFL can make a lot of money on all of that new merch. So
there's so many better ways to do what they're currently doing. And I think the NFL is like, hey, but we tried fantasy football because kids like fantasy football, right? And like, it's the game that's the problem. Like, that's what it comes down to, because it used to be like this very prestigious, like, great honor. But let's be honest too. Once you start incorporating like fan vote into it, it's a popularity contest.
Yeah.
So it really doesn't hold as much weight. What holds weight amongst the players is like the all-pro designation. Like that's what it is. But now I don't listen. I would take that, Luigi. I would take that all day. Like, just yell out jackpot. Like, I'll take it. Like, just literally play kids games. I don't care.
Yeah.
So, and I'm saying, like, get rid of the helmets. I'm like, get rid of the helmets. Like, get rid of like the pads and everything like that. Have them play flag football. I would honestly rather watch that, because then there could be like some fun stuff, like have it do like trick plays and stuff. I'd be all about it.
I'd rather just watch Jimmy Garoppolo sunbathe for an hour.
Are you saying instead of the Pro Bowl, or are you just saying in general?
That is my Pro Bowl.
Listen, we have a Mr. NFL.
Ooh.
I would watch a Mr. NFL like beauty competition.
A Chippendale, a male.
Come on now.
Yeah, get him to dance.
Come on now. They could show a talent, right? It could be juggling. They could be anything. I'm just saying. That would be amazing. Have a full-blown Mr. NFL, right?
Yeah.
I'm all about it. I am all about it.
We should have, or like, say if they should do it in Vegas every year. And so like, the winning team, they used to get like 40 grand, and the losing team, the players get like 20 grand.
Yep.
Just split the difference. Every player gets $30,000, but they have to go try and gamble it all. Like,
meanwhile, you have like some undrafted guy who's making like $1,000, and it's like, I don't want to, and they're like, no,
you're
you got
playing craps.
Put it on roulette.
Playing high risk Texas. Like, I would watch players play Texas Hold'em over the stupid Pro Bowl.
Tell me right now that you wouldn't watch Rob Gronkowski versus Travis Kelce in beer pong. Tell me you wouldn't watch that.
Drinking
Tell me
games.
you wouldn't watch
Hell
that.
Yes.
Like, let's go. Like, they could just do races. Like, I'm saying there's so many opportunities here. So many. It's like, I would watch Gronkowski like versus Kittle. Arm wrestling contests. Yes. Done. Exactly. Nick Foles is like, hey.
Hey, boys. Somebody
How we
says
doing?
striptease contest.
I'm saying it would be amazing. Yeah. It would be incredible.
But it's like, so the skills competition, they have, the dodgeball, whatever, like the everything, the points got to accumulate. So there still needs to be a prize for the winning side at the very end, It's about coming together as a team, gambling all your money away, and playing beer pong. That would be fun. Beer pong teams.
And just like leg racing and like, again, just chug and see. I would watch that.
Boom.
Speaking
of DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app.
Marshawn Lynch is the other. You okay, buddy?
I choked on my own spit. But that's not because of DraftKings, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 56.
Nailed it.
They're giving new customers 56 to 1 odds on either team. That's the Bengals. It's the Rams. It's Burrow. It's Stafford. $5. And you can win 280 in free bets if your team wins. All right. If you're not a new customer, you can experience the Super Bowl with same game parlays. I'm going to do some of that, Tom. That's what I'm doing, is some same game parlay.
Nice.
Winner of the Super Bowl should also have to grow a beard. Cooper Kupp should have to do this if he wins the Super Bowl.
I agree with that.
Put it in there, DraftKings. I don't know if you can make that happen, but give us monkey tail beard for Cooper Kupp. What's a parlay? You stack multiple bets from the same game for a bigger payout. The more legs you add, the more money you can win. You just got to use code GPS. GPS. It's the name of the show. There's a link in the description that will take you to DraftKings. The most, best, elegant, superior sports book on earth. And if you don't got the legal sports betting, don't forget, you can do same or daily fantasy football through DraftKings fantasy app. Millions of dollars in prizes every single week. DraftKings daily fantasy. Promo code GPS. Do it.
Nailed it.
Ooh, dizzy bat. Yeah. Bring it in.
Now, speaking of Pro Bowl, Alvin Kamara got arrested. that just got dropped. And I put a joke in the rundown, but then I saw you even retweeted a joke and I didn't see it. And I was like, well, now I can't make the same joke. So
I retweeted a joke.
You retweeted a joke, yeah. I think someone under tree said the punishment was to play in the Pro Bowl. And that's what I said, but I didn't realize someone else made that joke. So it's okay.
See, I forgot that I even tweeted that.
It's fine. Yesterday,
because I wrote it for a script last night. I wrote the joke and I was having trouble wording it the right way. And then I saw you this morning in the rundown, just word it perfectly. I was like, damn it. My damn brain.
It's fine. I understand.
Yeah. But okay, so yeah, Alvin Kamara gets arrested after the Pro Bowl. But apparently the assault or the battery what's the difference between assault and battery? I don't know.
One features the Energizer Bunny.
Yeah. Suck it, Duracell. So he's at a nightclub, got into an altercation, apparently. The person he battered went to the hospital. Police showed up, determined it was Alvin Kamara that assaulted this person, and he was arrested after the Pro Bowl, spent the night in jail, posted the $5,000 bail, and that's all we really know. At this time, we don't know the extent of the battery, how badly the person was hurt, Alvin Kamara's side of the story, if he was provoked. A lot of information we don't know about this right now. But what's kind of annoying is it's been a bad year for the Raiders, obviously, and some crazy stuff happened. But everyone's like, they blame Las Vegas for anything that,
anything that happens.
Decision a person makes. They blame it on the city of Las Vegas. And I understand what the reputation of the city is, but
sure.
All of the things Las Vegas offers, besides the gambling, you can, there's nightclubs in every single city. This can happen anywhere.
Yep.
It's such an easy thing. I just think it's kind of weird. But now that there's an NFL team there, anytime something happens, they're just going to be like, that's what you get when you put a football team in Vegas. So, sucks for Kamara, sucks for the Saints. Don't know exactly what happened. David? Oh, you want the hey.
Oh, Dave, what is 69 homie saying? Is it hey? No, it's I think there's an echo because the fans are chanting it back at him. That's what makes that clip so great.
I think
so. We can diagnose this right now. If we just
do it.
Hey.
See, so he's the hey, and then you hear the
There's
echo.
both. There's a little bit of an echo of him, and then the fans come in.
Correct. There we go. But David, thanks for dropping the 69. Boop! We got a little fate for the kitty. Listen, buddy, I'm so excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. But yeah, so we'll find out what's gonna go on with Kamara. I mean, I don't know what will come of that, but Las Vegas is just saying, hey, don't bring your football team here.
Man, like if you're a football player, I'm sure there are guys that try to provoke you when you're out too.
Sure.
At nightclubs and bars. And I'm not defending what happened here, but it's like every year it's somebody does something and it's all because of booze. You want to don't blame Vegas, just blame alcohol, the real corporate. The real culprit behind a lot of these problems. Drinking. Don't drink, kids. That's the message of today's show. But
I want to thank our sponsor, Bacardi Rum, for. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, we'll wait and see like what comes out of this, but
Kamara's a good dude, so we'll see. Like, we need more information. I looked this morning. There's literally no information about what happened except that something happened. So,
well, I mean, it's interesting too because like when players are looking to sign in like free agency and stuff, like that's why for a long time they're like no one wants to go to Green Bay because there's not much up there, and like you want to go to like a bigger city where like you can have a social life and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, you have plenty of a social life in Vegas, but
yeah,
who knows? Now, speaking of the Super Bowl, because it is finally Super Bowl week, which by the way, is it just me or it seems like a lot less hype this year? I think there's still like a common, like, I can't believe the Bengals are there kind of sentiment.
Yeah, there's no villain. There's no like anxiety around it.
No.
I think people are just like, well, the Bengals win. That's amazing. If Stafford gets a ring, that's great too.
Mm-hmm.
It's also because, I mean, the Bengals they have a solid fan base, right?
Yes.
But it's not like the Bengals are a super popular team. The Rams don't really have a solid fan base, and they're not a super popular team.
Correct.
So that's probably why it feels a little bit like that. Maybe it picks up this week when we get the Super Bowl media week going.
Yeah.
You get the interviews, the things happening. But also, I think it's just like, how many head coaching vacancies? 8 or 9? There's just like a lot of other shit going on that's equally important. Like for me, getting Nathaniel Hackett outweighed, what was going on with the Super Bowl. There's like all these teams looking for head coaches. There's Brian Flores suing the league. There's Tom Brady retiring. There's all these other huge stories that took away from the build up to the Super Bowl. So maybe it picks up a little steam this week is my guess.
Well, I checked during the Q&A on Friday because a few weeks ago, tickets were at $7,500, cheapest for nosebleeds. But now I'm happy to report that you could get nosebleed tickets for $4,500. There was only a pair. You had to pay $46 for more. And that's without fees, by the way. So the tickets are like, a lot less complaining. The tickets are insanely expensive. If you want to park at the stadium, Perna, it costs $1,000. $1,000 to park at SoFi.
Well, that's all right because everybody knows Los Angeles, great public transportation. Easy to get around in that city without driving.
Yeah. So it's insane to me. And I know we talked about this last week, but it's just crazy how expensive these tickets are. And it's so sad because a random fan is unable to go, the ordinary average fan, because that's a lot of, and that's without airfare. That's without food. That's without hotel. That's without anything.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. That's
rough. So tickets may be dropping in price because the demand not as strong, or just because people are looking at the prices and are like, F you, I'm not doing that.
Well, is it next year Vegas?
What's that?
Is it next year's Vegas or 2 years from now Vegas?
I
think it's 2 year. I think next year might be Arizona.
Cool.
Super Bowl 57.
We know the Cardinals won't be there.
Yep, that's in Arizona.
Yeah. We will not have 3 straight Super Bowls where the home team plays in their own stadium. Because Kyler Murray apparently unfollowed the Cardinals on on social medias.
So I heard he never was following them.
He never followed him in the first place, is what I meant to say.
But he did like remove a lot of Cardinals stuff, because the reason I know that is because of a certain reaction video I was looking to do today. The entire Cardinal subreddit was freaking out, and then people were like, "No, he never followed the Cardinals to begin with."
He wouldn't follow Chandler Jones. Chandler Jones asked him to follow him on socials, and he just never did. Chandler Jones called him out in a press conference. It was very funny, by the way. I'll say this, though. I think Kyler Murray's just kind of a weird guy. Like, I wouldn't look too much into it if you're a Cardinals fan. I think he's just kind of a weird dude. And I don't mean that insultingly. Like, he's just a weird dude. Maybe it's a little play. Maybe they're talking contracts. Maybe he's playing a little hardball. He knows something about hardball because he was a baseball player. That's how you do that. And maybe Arizona lets him get away. Maybe that's what I'm hoping. I'll take Kyler Murray. I'll take the weird dude as my QB any day. That's why I want Rodgers.
Yeah, I think he would do that. Well, because it's his 5th-year extension, so he's on his 4th year of his contract coming up. So he still has another year after this, because they're obviously going to say, "Yeah, we want it." So, yeah, maybe it's a money thing, maybe. But this is totally not on the run. Does Kyler Murray deserve like a top 5 contract?
Nobody does in my eyes, except for Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, I think he does. Like, there's questions about his play late in the season, but when he's on, he's freaking electric.
He's incredibly athletic. Like, he is so crazily athletic. I don't know if it's a mix of the play calling or because Cliff Kingsbury, the offensive coordinator, being problematic. Like, I think that it's more than just Kyler Murray being a problem, but it's a bad look when everyone expects you to have a mid-season collapse and then you always have a mid-season collapse.
Yeah.
It's not a good look.
Does Lamar Jackson deserve $40 million a year? Yes.
I say yes.
Like, if you win MVP as a quarterback, you deserve it.
I say Lamar Jackson definitely deserves it. You know why? Because, I mean, you saw, the backups were not bad. Don't get me wrong. But, you saw Huntley back there. But Lamar Jackson is a big reason as to why they win football games. Yeah. Even when they're like this season, I think also proves this why you give Lamar Jackson a ton of money. Look how many injuries they had. Lost all their running backs. All of them. He had like no run game to lean on from his, like the backs that would have actually been able to establish a really good run game. I think so. I think he absolutely does.
I would take Lamar Jackson at this point and give him the money over Russell Wilson.
Ooh.
And like, I think about Russell Wilson as a contract. I think about Aaron Rodgers as giving contracts too, because those guys have been linked to my team, the Denver Broncos. My concern with Russell Wilson moving forward is how long can he rely on his athleticism to help him make plays?
True.
Whereas Lamar Jackson's still very young, and I trust him to be probably the most premier athlete in the NFL for years to come, where like you can bank on that, right? I worry a little bit about Aaron Rodgers relying on his athleticism, but Rodgers more so than Russell Wilson can beat you as a pocket passer.
Mm-hmm.
And when you see like the Seahawks struggle, it's because you can contain Russell Wilson and you kind of take away that dynamic.
Yes.
But like, yeah, I would give Lamar Jackson all the money. He definitely deserves it.
Yep.
Joe Burrow's going to get paid. Justin Herbert's going to get paid. All of these guys are going to get paid. They're going to get max deals. And Lamar's just as good as those guys. And he's proven it. He's got a track record of it. Sure. And it's like, I think people look at Lamar Jackson differently because the Ravens kind of had to tool their offense to his skill set. And That's not a knock either. Like Lamar Jackson's skill set's just so insane. It's just like it's beyond what anybody else can do in the league, that they were smart enough to be like, well, let's just lean into that. Let's lean into the fact that he can run for 150 yards in a game and win that way, or he can beat you passing. He just doesn't get credit for beating people passing because what he does with his legs is so incredible. It's like Josh Allen too. You had to wait for him to develop. And he relied on his legs way too much early on, and they adapted, to his strengths as well. So, and Josh Allen just got paid. So, Yeah.
I think it's because I don't think there is a perfect quarterback, right? And like the people that we're looking at who's getting it paid, because like Josh Allen can still have games where he's like throwing 3 interceptions, right? But he's also running for like 2 touchdowns. Like there's flaws in his game. There's flaws in Lamar Jackson game, and I think with Kyler Murray as well, it's just a matter of like, okay, you have to look at potential and longevity, right? How long are they going to be able to keep up consistent, great QB play? That's what it comes down to, without taking a step back. Like Aaron Rodgers, right? He was very mobile, run all over the place. As time has gone on, though, you saw him, especially like last season, stuff like that, throw more from the pocket. He can still extend plays, don't get me wrong, but running is going to kind of be a last option, right? Where previously, that guy's going to run for wherever you want to. And you've mentioned this about Russell Wilson. Can they become like those dedicated pocket passers as they get a little bit older? They're not going to be relying on their legs a whole lot. And it's not, again, knock on any of them. It's just like age. But then again, you saw Tom Brady run like his fastest that he ever did. And that was this year. So, these guys spend like $1 million like Russell Wilson does on their bodies every single year. So,
That's wrong, Will. You're wrong, William.
I mean, what was the game this season? Like, you go back. Hold on. Now, Tom Grossi's got to look up some stats here. There was a game this season where he literally just tore the team apart through the air.
Yeah. The Broncos. It was the Broncos.
Dude, no. Not even the Broncos. Indianapolis, he had 442 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
That's wild. 37 of 43. Denver threw for 316. Nah.
Yeah. We were like, if we contain him, we can beat him. And he just sat in the pocket and picked the Broncos apart. Josh Allen, wildly inaccurate his rookie season and even his second season. If you've got the arm talent, you can correct that. And I used to believe an inaccurate quarterback in college is going to be an inaccurate quarterback in the pros, because if you haven't learned by college, you're not going to get fixed. I think that's wrong. And I think people who don't think Lamar Jackson can throw are not watching Lamar Jackson play football.
Yeah.
Is he the most accurate quarterback in the league? No. But like, are you going to look at completion percentage, or are you going to look at how effectively he passes? Because there are quarterbacks who have very high completion percentage because they take a lot of easy throws. They take a lot of short, easy throws. There's so much nuance to what a quarterback does and how they can win games.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like Lamar Jackson's one of the most fun quarterbacks to watch too.
Absolutely.
If you want to knock him for something this last season, it's that his interceptions went up. He was injured. He had 13 picks on the season, didn't play the full season. So that's kind of an issue. But then you got to look at each interception too. How many of those picks are his fault? I don't even know. Like, I'm asking. Like, I don't know because I didn't watch all of his interceptions.
Yes.
So, now Aaron Rodgers throws 4 picks all season. He got that shit figured out. He's not going to throw it to the wrong team. And he still makes risky throws and completes them. That's what blows you away when you watch Aaron Rodgers. So anyway.
Yeah.
No. Dude, and here's a good one. Yeah. Brett Favre continued to throw a ridiculous amount of interceptions every year.
Brett Favre was the enigma of my lifetime because when he had the ball, you knew just him alone was either going to win you the game or lose you the game. And it was all Brett Favre. And that's why a lot of people loved him. Like, that's why he was the gunslinger.
Yeah.
But he legitimately lost us a good amount of games. Now, again, he also threw a ridiculous amount of touchdowns, what have you, but he also was like, yeah, I'm going to throw all the interceptions because I'm going to try and force that. I'm going to try to get the ball in there,
And he wasn't an inaccurate quarterback. He's incredibly accurate. One of the best arms ever. He just threw it into coverage too many times or made the wrong read. Like, there's a difference between like accuracy and decision making too, and that affects interceptions as well.
Well, that was a good thing, Adam.
Oh, Brett Favre?
When he lost the Vikings at NFC Championship game. That was good. That was good. I liked that. Dean run game early on. See, I think it's
definitely benefited from the defense, but Russell Wilson, he's a very good quarterback. Like, I would still take him. I'm just saying, like, he's 35, and as he gets older, like, I just haven't seen Russell Wilson as a guy who will sit back and make quick timing route throws. He was one of the best at extending plays. Aaron Rodgers still does it. I think Russell Wilson can do it for a long time. It's probably unfair to even think he's going to slow down doing it, but he had one of the best defenses on earth. So yeah, he definitely benefited from it.
Yeah.
But as a young quarterback, you're watching him like, oh, this dude gets the game. He doesn't make a lot of bad decisions, and that's all the Seahawks needed early on. If their defense could have stayed together a little longer, the Seahawks probably would have made it back to another Super Bowl, but that's hard to sustain.
And he could still sling it downfield too. Like, Wilson can launch that thing.
Yeah.
And again, they have playmakers. They have very good wide receivers. I think it's a mix of a lot of things. You look at that offensive line, which was never really a priority. I think that has hurt the Seahawks over a good amount of time because he's taken a lot of unnecessary hits, and that's just what he has said himself. I think that that's a problem. I think that there has been this dynamic between Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson. They do not always see eye to eye because you see Russell Wilson start off seasons really, really hot. Look at let Russ cook. And then they're like, no, let's get back to the football. And there's never a point, it seems, that the offense and defense in the past couple of seasons have been on the same page. Either the offense is clicking and they're doing amazing, or the defense is doing amazing and the offense is struggling.
And to be fair to the Seahawks offensive line, like, Russell Wilson takes a lot of sacks because he holds on to the football. So it's not every time that he gets sacked, it's the line's fault.
Yeah.
But, Joe Burrow took a ton of sacks this year. Bad line, guy trying to make deep plays. You hold on to the ball a little longer when you're doing that. It doesn't mean you're a bad quarterback, but it's part of the risk of playing the position that way. Aaron Rodgers, Phillip Rivers, Tom Brady, those are guys who get rid of the ball very quickly. The exception being Aaron Rodgers when he needs to extend a play. He did it better than those other guys. But it's like we've talked about it before. Brady played so long because he learned to play as a deficient athlete. He had no choice but to be a guy who got rid of the ball quickly because he wasn't going to make plays. Same way with Peyton Manning. Like, he wasn't going to beat you with his legs. He wasn't going to extend them. He had to know what the defense was going to do and make it. Like, there's just different ways he can play it. They're all fun to watch, except for Tom Brady.
I agree. Real quick, I just wanted to talk about it real quick, too. The Dolphins hiring a brand new head coach as well.
Oh, yeah. Mike McDaniel's from Aurora, Colorado, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Mike McDaniel. No S.
Have you seen that compilation that's out there of his press conferences? They're amazing. It's so amazing. I was like, oh, I played D&D with that guy. That's what it reminds me of so much. And that guy's story is awesome. Like, he started out as a ball boy. And he literally just worked his way up.
Yeah.
So I think that's really cool. So I hope he does well with the Dolphins. He's going into a situation which is complex, to say the least.
Well, he got the best out of Jimmy Garoppolo, and now he's got Tua, who I think is on par with Garoppolo, probably a little bit better. The difference is the Dolphins have a horrible offensive line and an unreliable run game, and that's what made San Francisco click on offense. But in terms of giving Tua a guy who can maximize his potential, I think Mike McDaniel is a great fit to do that with the Dolphins. I was really hoping the Broncos were going to get Hackett and then bring in Mike McDaniel to be their offensive coordinator. Broncos fans really wanted that, and not just because he's from Colorado, but because he learns under Shanahan. He's in that whole coaching tree, highly regarded in San Francisco. But now he gets a chance to be the head coach. Young, hot talent coming into Miami.
I mean, he didn't start off making a ton of money, so he would probably take $100,000 a loss. So
Yeah.
it's benefiting everybody.
He's like, oh, should I go to the place where I can make money and lose and make money and win?
Exactly.
38 years old. So another young guy. He feels like the least head coachy coach in the league.
Yes.
You're right. He just seems like a guy you want to get a beer with. Well, he doesn't drink. He's sober. But
yes, we're not getting
hang out with. I think it's a solid hire, but like every head coach, their success really depends on their quarterback and their organization's ability.
Owner.
And I do not trust the Dolphins.
No,
not for a second.
Nope. But we'll see, and we'll see what the Saints decide to do. You know, they have the pick of the litter now, with whoever's left. So,
yep,
we'll see. Yeah,
another horrible organization.
True story. Well, Perna,
did it.
I think we did it. The monkey tail was revealed in all of its glory. And now I have to go make a Rich Bisaccia video. Tell the people, Brandon Perna, what you got coming out today.
Assuming I can get it done, I'm doing every team's best and worst moment from the season.
Ooh, that's ambitious.
Yeah, I did it last year.
Don't do the Packers. Just leave it out.
And I did it before the playoffs. I was like, that's stupid because a lot of teams' best or worst moments probably going to happen in the playoffs. So that should be coming up later. You're doing Rich Bisaccia video, Tommy?
We're going to do a Rich Bisaccia video. Last night, I spent some time and I edited the supercut of the West Saga, which comes in at 5 hours and 8 minutes long.
Wow.
It's all done. It's complete. I just got to click public and it's good. So I'll probably release that tonight. I also wanted to do a reaction video tonight. There's going to be a lot of content coming out this week, folks, for Super Bowl week. So we're going to rock and we're going to roll.
We're going to roll. We're going to rock.
So a big congratulations to Brandon Perna once again for raising over $20,000.
Tom Grossi, huge help there. Couldn't have done it without the Grossi posse. Seems logical. We raised 20 grand for the Alzheimer's Association, and my promise was if we raise 20, I shave a monkey tail beard into my face. That's what's going on with it. Where have you been? Seems logical. Where have you been?
True.
All right, 5 hours of the lore.
The lore. That's it.
Oh, Doug Peterson. Oh, yeah, he got hired.
We talked about that on Friday.
Yeah. Underwhelming, but maybe he's the right guy. I don't know.
I hope his London accent is really good.
I hope it works out. I hope he's good. I hope he develops Trevor Lawrence. I would love to see the Jags be competitive.
Exactly.
All right.
But folks, thank you for watching. We'll be back on Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern and 9 a.m. Mountain Time. Tom Grossi, Brandon Perna. This is GPS. And you've been navigated.
And you've reached your monkey tail beard.